18 minutes past 2, you're listening to me, Nihal, on the BBC Asian Network, and we are going to go in at letting off steam because, of course, this is our second letting off steam of the year. Last week, of course, everyone was still feeling good about the year. It was, of course, the 2nd of January. Actually, we did it on the 3rd of January, so it was very fresh. Of course, now, since then, we've had 6 days to be annoyed by everyone and everything around us, and I can imagine that loads of texts and emails are going to come in. 81869, just let off steam. Anything that's done your head in over the last weekend, and we will try and sort it out, or just read it out and comment on it. I have an esteemed panel with me today, starting with the journalist Nabila Ramdani. Nabila, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too, and your listeners, of course.
Welcome to the show. Next up is the presenter and model, Simran Gill, and very good afternoon. Happy New Year to you, Simran.
Happy New Year to you too, and everybody's listening.
Yeah, gosh, we're in, aren't we?
Yeah.
Last, definitely not least, the actor and writer, more writer, I could imagine.
Yeah.
You're locked away writing at the moment, aren't
Absolutely.
you? Kosh Omar. Kosh,
hello.
How are you, mate?
Good. Happy New Year.
Happy New
to
Year
everyone.
to you.
I hope it's good to us all.
Well, let us start with the whinges. Nabila, what's your whinge for 2012?
It's actually to do with New Year's Eve, in fact, and this obligation and almost that social obligation to party and have fun, whatever that means, on New Year's Eve, which in my opinion sums up what a conformist society is all about.
Right.
Because I feel overly conformist societies are extremely sinister societies, and when you are being told, to party on a specific date, that's what, conformism is.
It's a little bit like
about.
North Korea, Kim Jong-un's let's all have a good time kind of thing. He's our supreme leader, everyone's great.
Or when he dies, we all have to cry on television. The camera's on you.
Terrible, isn't it? I know, that was really weird. So you think that by us having to have a good time and the pressure to sing Auld Lang Syne and if you drink alcohol, drink champagne, is a sign that we are oppressed in some way?
In a way, I think New Year's Eve is first started. It's a token event where thousands of people are flood onto the streets of
Hundreds
cities
of
and
thousands, yeah.
Yes, to stand about celebrating the passing of another year. Effectively, I find it extremely
1 year closer to death.
Yeah, exactly. And
Is this the year we do die?
Yeah. This is supposed to be the end of the world, 2012, apparently.
Oh, no.
Still here.
Right, okay, and you're just not having it. You felt
It's sheepish, it's boring.
So what did
and
you
it's
do?
very, very
did you
dangerous.
Just stay inside with a black blanket over yourself, listen to Radiohead albums? Is that what you did on New Year's Eve?
Why not? Well, it's just
I'm making a note of that.
Remind me not to come to a dinner party at your house.
Bring your own blanket.
No, I'm all for, people enjoying, a special event in their lives, in, personal event.
Right.
But, just to go about and, drink the heads off.
Yeah.
Which, the amount of casualties on New Year's Eve is absolutely horrendous. Crime, statistics. You only have to spend some time in a casualty ward in a hospital to realise that. It's absolutely dreadful.
I agree with every word, and I'm more depressed now than I was.
Speaking as a music DJ, that puts me out quite a bit of money on New Year's Eve. I'll stay in this time. Okay, that's a fascinating one to be. I've got to say, that's a fascinating one. Simran, what's your whinge of 2012?
Well, like I was saying, I didn't realise how moany I was until I was asked to say a whinge.
Funny that we had a few texts from some of your exes.
Oh no.
And there goes another one, I believe.
they kept us up to speed. Don't worry. Yeah, go on.
But yeah, so it was actually just last night. I'm still really jarred up about it. I was on the A40, and the yellow box junctions. God, some of them just don't need to be there, first of all. But it was slow-moving traffic, so I had just enough space to fit my car in. So I'm all going along into the yellow box junction, and the guy in the lane next to me cuts in and takes that space.
Wow.
So I was stuck. I was actually stuck, and I know there's going to be a ticket coming through the post. And so I'm horning and flashing like a mad woman, like, I can't believe you did that. And I'm not allowed to swear on air, so I can't actually say what I said.
Road Raj, the Asian
really
version.
Bad, really
He might be
bad
phoning
road
in, though, just to tell you what he thought.
No, but okay, you know what? I would have let it go, but he didn't even say sorry.
Was he driving a flash car?
Not flasher than mine.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Because usually it's the people with really flash cars that just feel like they own the road.
But I think he had a lady in the car with him, so I think he was trying to act all cool in front of her, but it didn't work, because I'm flashing in the back going, hello.
Well,
Yeah, but he might have been saying she likes me.
Yeah,
She likes me.
she's one of my fans.
But what he said to that lady is that he he's not gallant. He has no chivalry. He'll push in front of a woman. Now, if as a woman sitting next to a guy who'd be like that, you would have to worry a little bit, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, some people quite find that attractive.
Okay.
Or maybe he has to prove.
Oh, look how rude he is to other women. Wow, how sexy. Yeah. That's really bizarre. Okay, I think that's a fairly understandable whinge. I think the jury's still out on Nabila's one, but Miss Radio.
We all agree, we just don't want to agree.
We don't want to agree. Kosh, what about yours?
Right, mine was brought about by this. Have you read about the Morris dancers people have complained because they black up their face to do their Morris dancing?
That well-known Afro-Caribbean pursuit of Morris dancing.
Well, it goes back, I don't know if you know, but Morris comes from Moorish, and it goes back to the
Moorish,
dance.
as in
Moors, the
Right,
Islamic world, and the dance comes from Turkish dancing. That's what Morris dancing comes from. Now, I don't,
typical Turk, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It claims everything's Turkish.
That's at the root of my moan. Everything is Turkish. But look, if people want to black up their face, that's one thing, we could debate it. But what they're screaming offence. They're saying this is really offensive. We've been doing this for 600 years. What right have you to question what we do? And I'm sick of this. We question ourselves constantly, everything we do, and that's how we evolve.
Well, it's a very strange defensive position. That just because we've been doing something for 600 years, we should be allowed to. I mean, otherwise slavery presumably would still
and sacrificing babies. Sacrificing babies.
Absolutely.
So we should question ourselves. And I have to say, us Asians are guilty of this sometimes more than others, because we scream offence when someone's racist towards us, but we don't question what we believe in, the stuff we do. And all faiths should be there to be questioned, like all philosophies, and all traditions, like all actions, should be there to be questioned.
Yes,
Sweeping generalizations like that about all Asians.
No, us Asians. I said us Asians. Politely putting myself in while giving him a kick up the bum.
There is something to be said about that, isn't it? That people regard racism as a white people hating black people and bad thing, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, and if people come and see my plays, they will see that I show that. I show how racist we can be. We're outrageously racist.
Yeah, but we're too scared to admit it because we're always right.
Yeah.
I always think I'm right.
Well, I think that we're scared to admit it because it suits agendas to say that we're the victims, because there's a lot of money in being a victim.
Exactly.
There's a lot of sympathy in it. There's a lot of foundation that can come away.
There's not a single war that has happened where numbers have not been exaggerated, because there's something to be got out of that.
I mean, it's fascinating.
And that's right across the board with everyone.
The whole race issue, obviously, that came around the Stephen Lawrence trial, which came to a successful conclusion last week, was about people talking about race, wasn't it? And then there was the Diane Abbott bizarre thing in the middle of the week about white people, etc., etc. And I'm not sure often enough we do look at our own prejudices.
No. We should.
And it's not highlighted, so then you don't really notice it as much, because these issues are highlighted, whereas we kind of just shadow ourselves, and we don't kind of go out there, and we are racist in many ways to all different cultures and religions and stuff, but we're very clever in the sense that it won't be where everyone will notice it. It won't happen where everyone can pick up on it.
Well, no, it happens behind closed doors
exactly.
all the time. All the time. Unless people artistically express themselves. Now, the victim artistically expressing themselves, racism can come into that for the victim. Like if you look at Richard Pryor at the time, the stuff he was saying, if a white person was saying that stuff, it would be very offensive. But because it was at that point in history where black people were still being oppressed, him saying those things, there was something liberating about that. Not now. I don't believe using the M word for certain artists now is liberating or anything. I think
Chris Rock's stand-up does it very cleverly, doesn't he?
Yeah, I like Chris Rock.
Chris Rock explores racism.
But he also talks about that, doesn't he? So,
yes, he does. Very eloquently he talks about it. Okay, let's get into your rants, your letting off of steam. 81869 is the text. Email nihal@bbc.co.uk. You've heard ours. If you want to agree or disagree with any of ours, if you also hate New Year and perhaps hate all those kind of occasions which are imposed upon us, maybe where we've got to go out and celebrate, when in fact actually we don't really want to. Classic one, of course, being Valentine's Day, isn't it?
I hate Valentine's Day.
any man who's, let's face it, a bit cheap says, I'm sorry darling, moment, I do not wish to engage in this materialistic marketing.
I love you every day. I love
Basically, you're cheap and you've forgotten. That's basically what's happened. Also, as well, if any whinges about driving over the weekend, do you believe that Simran was right? I think we can clearly have a lot of sympathy with you in that.
And if he's listening, you're paying my ticket. Just letting you know.
Yeah. Did you make a note down?
Yes, of course.
Look at you, little Miss CIA, and Kosh, of course, talking about race, of course, and how we defend what we do, and how political correctness.
We're so sensitive to our traditions when they should be questioned.
Yeah. So culture, isn't it?
We question everything else.
Yeah.
If culture is something that constantly is evolving, but we're so strong on defining ourselves that by the time we've defined ourselves, we've actually moved on, and we grow stale by constantly defining ourselves by history.
Interesting. All right. 81869 on the text. Get your rants in. Let off steam. And you've got half an hour to do so. Actually, no, you've got 3 minutes and 45 seconds because that's how long this song is.
ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਭਰੂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦਿਲ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਲਾਈਏ ਹੁਣ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਜਾਈਏ ਨੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ ਪਿਆਰ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਾਰ ਪੂਰੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਵਖਾਈਏ ਨੀ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਕਰ ਜੱਗ ਵੈਰ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਕਰੀਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੋੜੇ ਚੜਾਈਏ ਨੀ ਜਿੰਨੂੰ ਦਿਲ 'ਚ ਵਸਾਈਏ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜਿੰਦ ਵੀ ਬਣਾਈਏ ਕਦੇ ਅੱਖ ਨਾ ਚੁਰਾਈਏ ਨੀ ਲੱਗੀਆਂ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਹਿ ਕੇ ਸਜਣਾ कदे मुख पर ताइए नी ताइए जे यारियां फिर लाके तोड़ निभाइए नी मुक जावे भावे जाने पर यार तो दूर ना जाइए नी ताइए जे यारियां फिर लाके तोड़ निभाइए नी मुक जावे भावे जाने पर यार तो दूर ना जाइए नी
If it is you gon' do it, then it's best that you do it proper. If it is gon' hit it, committed to be the topper. Top of the top, best of the best, yo, be the cream of the cropper. Gem in the rough, double team's tough, come in, become the shopper.
ਸੱਚੀਆਂ ਪਰੀਤਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਲਾ ਲਈਏ ਸੱਜਣਾ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਜ਼ਮਾਈਦਾ ਦਿਲ ਜਦੋਂ ਦਿਲ ਨਾ ਵਟਾ ਲਈਏ ਹੱਥ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਛੁਡਾਈਦਾ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਣ ਲੱਖ ਨੀ ਕਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਯਾਰ ਵਟਾਈਦਾ ਨੱਚਣਾ ਜੇ ਪੈ ਜੇ ਬੰਨ ਘੁੰਗਰੂ ਨੱਚ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਯਾਰ ਮਨਾਈਦਾ ਜੇ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਰਾਜ਼ੀ ਇੱਕ ਪਲ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਚੈਨ ਦਾ ਪਾਈਏ ਨੀ ਤਾਈਏ ਜੇ ਯਾਰੀਆਂ ਫਿਰ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਤੋੜ ਨਿਭਾਈਏ ਨੀ ਮੁੱਕ ਜਾਵੇ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜਾਣੇ ਪਰ ਯਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਦੂਰ ਨਾ ਜਾਈਏ ਨੀ ਤਾਈਏ ਜੇ ਯਾਰੀਆਂ ਫਿਰ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਤੋੜ ਨਿਭਾਈਏ ਨੀ ਮੁੱਕ ਜਾਵੇ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜਾਣੇ ਪਰ ਯਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਦੂਰ ਨਾ ਜਾਈਏ ਨੀ
I'm in the guild, cloud size Zeus, and y'all know who this is, Nicolaks, 2K12 baby, yeah, let's go. If it is you gon' do it, then it's best that you do it proper. If it is gon' hit it, committed to be the topper. Top of the top, best of the best, yo, be the cream of the cropper. Gem in the rough, double team's tough, come in, become the shopper.
ਤੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੰਘਦੇ ਦਿਨ ਮੇਰੇ ਇੰਜ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਰਾਤ ਨੀ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ 'ਚ ਰਹਿਣ ਤੇਰੇ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਕਰਦਾ ਰਵਾਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਬਾਤ ਨੀ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਨਾ ਮੰਨਦਾ ਏ ਜੱਗ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ਼ਕ ਨਾ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ ਏ ਜ਼ਾਤ ਨੀ ਮੰਗਿਆ ਏ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੱਬ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ 'ਚ ਲੈ ਜਜ਼ਬਾਤ ਨੀ ਇੱਕ ਤੂੰ ਹੋਵੇਂ ਇੱਕ ਮੈਂ ਹੋਵਾਂ ਦੋਵੇਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਜੱਗ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਈਏ ਨੀ ਤਾਈਏ ਜੇ ਯਾਰੀਆਂ ਫਿਰ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਤੋੜ ਨਿਭਾਈਏ ਨੀ ਮੁੱਕ ਜਾਵੇ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜਾਣੇ ਪਰ ਯਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਦੂਰ ਨਾ ਜਾਈਏ ਨੀ ਤਾਈਏ ਜੇ ਯਾਰੀਆਂ ਫਿਰ ਲਾ ਕੇ
download chart. This is your number one. Download the chart podcast online. Click bbc.co.uk/Asian Network.
Good afternoon, 33 minutes past 2, and you are listening to me, Nihal, on the BBC Asian Network. I'm joined by the journalist Nabila Ramdani, the model and presenter Simran Gill, and the writer and actor Kosh Obar to talk through some of your rants. Okay, now, Rita from Kent has been in a similar situation. I've fallen out with a friend because her son decides to do wrestling on my 5-year-old, who is half the size of her son, although they're the same age. Every time my son plays with him, he's the one that comes out upset and crying. Had a polite word with the mum, aka my so-called friend, but no more. She wouldn't have it said that her son is anything less than perfect. So I said, so is mine, and she put the phone down on me.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow. What do you do in that situation? Of course, you're a parent. What do you do in that situation where...
I would talk to my son and I see how it's affecting him, because generally, out of that situation, her son is going to get more out of it by being... bullied, or this big guy coming on to him. He's going to get stronger physically. He's going to know how to deal with this.
Okay, yeah.
But it depends.
Yeah.
No, but it's true.
Here's a sword.
Hit him back.
There you go, son. Stab him. No.
Christian versus Lions.
But if I see that he's working it out and he's angry, but he's working out. But if I see that he's genuinely being tortured by this,
yes,
then yeah, I would say something to the parent. And if the parent is one of those silly mums at the school gate that would just throw a rant and walk up, then go away. We don't need them in our life. But I would teach my son how to beat the hell out.
Would you always veer? Would you always veer on the side that your kids are always right?
No.
Because a lot of parents do.
Yeah, well, that's wrong.
But that's the thing.
That's because the parents are like
assume that they actually take some pride out of their children being stronger than other children, and that often means abusing other children.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because this was happening to some friends of ours, and my friend was telling me this weekend actually that the father of this kid, who's a bit of a bully, really, to be honest, is that the father was bullied at school, so he wants his son to be strong. Now, my point to that is, look, make sure your son is polite and nice, and send him to karate from 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to, because no one likes a bully.
No.
All you're doing is ensuring that your child ends up being ostracised in the classroom.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure about you guys, but there were bullies at my school.
To raise up children being, polite, respect other people, and being civilised, as they should be later on in their lives as well.
Yeah,
because,
absolutely.
the law is unforgivable. If you break the law, then, you won't have your parents' supports, indefinitely.
I went to a very rough North London school, and I did really well at that school. My father, bless him, he was quite violent with me, but that's how he was brought up. That's how maybe it's a culture
School
thing.
of hard knocks.
Yeah, and so I did really well at that school because I had someone very big beating me up at home, so no one at school could beat me up. It's once I left school that I realised, hold on, there's different rules here, and that's not quite right. And it took me quite a long time to grow up, but grow up I did, and at various points in our lives, earlier or later on, we grow up, and these people need to grow up.
And schools should be a microcosm of
Yes.
life. Yeah.
Afi from Leicester has now, unless you know much about Asian music, Afi from Leicester is texting saying the thing that's really doing my head in at the moment is my wife singing Kola Veri Di. Do everyone know this song?
Gosh, that song.
Does everyone know this song?
Yes.
It's all right, because Kola Veri Di is this song. It's Tamglish, so it's Tamil and English mixed, and it has been an absolute phenomenon. I don't know if it's 40 million views on YouTube. I mean, it's absolutely huge.
It won like a gold medal award from YouTube for having the most amount of hits in the shortest amount of time.
And for my Radio 1 show, a week hasn't gone by without someone doing a remix of it and sending it to me. Like, everyone's trying to remix this record to get a bit of shine on it. And it is annoying because, of course, Afi is saying, my wife sings this first thing in the morning, then it's in my head all day long.
Oh, God.
And it is the most annoying song.
It is, you know what, and to have those lyrics in your head, because he says something like Moona, brighter.
Yeah, whiskey, scotcher, that's it, scotcher.
At the end of every single...
Yeah,
in English, is it?
It's Tanglish.
Oh,
it's Tamil,
Tanglish. Yeah,
Tamil and English. And he's basically just talking about a girl who's broken his heart, effectively. But he does it in such a random way. It was the first track we played on the show today. And, oh, gosh... people who can't sing shouldn't sing.
Oh, well, I don't know. He's
agree with
made
that.
a lot of money out of it. So maybe not.
No, I'm not talking about this song. I'm talking about your partners.
Oh, right. Yeah,
hear you
absolutely.
singing.
I think
Yeah.
that they should be able to voice their singing. If they might think that they can sing, like I know I can.
And so they should in the shower, like
know
everyone
I
else.
Every single person that walks onto the X Factor audition stage says that to themselves, right?
Yeah.
I know
I can sing.
Yeah.
How many times have you
I
heard
know.
that? My auntie says I've got the best voice
Yeah,
ever.
now-
You
now-
people don't know nothing.
Now that's
They
a cruel
storm off stage.
You
That's
know.
a cruel parent. Forget beating your
Yeah,
child up,
that's so true.
teaching them that they can sing
When they
can't, and letting them go on X Factor and shame the whole family. That's bad.
I just didn't want to break her heart.
How many
Okay.
uncles and aunties at Asian weddings think that they can, Bhangra, especially
Oh,
in the Punjabi
God.
community, like jumping up and down after a few glasses of whiskey thinking they're Gurdas Man.
Yeah.
It's like, mate, please let it go. Do you know what I mean? You're going to knock yourself out with your whiskey belly if you carry on doing that.
Well, having said that, there's an awful lot of professional singers who can't
Yeah.
sing and are making an awful lot of money out of it.
Because they come from the right family, a family of entertainers. So
Yeah, so they think that they've got it.
Or
Yeah.
they just look great.
Yeah,
Because
well, there's a lot of that.
After all, there are plenty of amazing singers. What the world doesn't need is really great singers. There's loads of them. It needs great songs. And you
Yes.
don't genuinely need to be a
Yes.
great singer
Yeah.
to sing a great song.
Yes, it's true.
You know, I mean, if you think of Britney Spears, "Hit Me Baby One More Time" is an amazing pop record.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It just is an incredible piece of pop music.
Yeah, you have great
She's not the
standards,
greatest
don't
singer in the world. She's not
No,
Aretha
that's
Franklin
true.
or Lata Mangeshkar by any stretch of the imagination. Is she? Can't believe I compared Britney Spears to Lata Mangeshkar.
Yeah.
There you go. Only on the BBC Asian network could that happen. Okay, now Sadia texted in saying, "This weekend my parents drove me bonkers. One rule for the girls, one for the boys. Lend boys money even if they are worthless. Let them have girlfriends as long as it's not their daughters." Oh, deep breath. Simran, does this still exist?
Yes, it does. And I know my mum, I don't know if she's listening, she's getting on a flight, but she treats my brothers like golden boys. Anything they do or say, it goes. And
Girlfriends?
Girlfriends are allowed. My brother's he's married to her now, but he's had his girlfriend for the last 13 years and it's been fine, and they've never had a problem with it. But I think
You and boyfriends?
I could only just say it this year. I only had the courage to say it while I was turning 25.
Don't tell me they
now
sounded
I got
surprised.
it.
Like, what?
Like, oh, my goodness, didn't I taught you any better? I'm like, yeah, okay. But no, I think that it's because they think that they'd rather have their son impregnate somebody else and their daughter come home pregnant because of her boyfriend.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Isn't it?
It's the biggest fear. Okay, you've got a daughter.
have.
Isn't your biggest fear her being pregnant or
No,
your son?
my biggest fear is her not going to Harvard.
Yeah, oh my God!
yeah, God.
I was just about to say, my biggest fear is my daughter being ignorant. Just, I want her to process this world
I
while
will
she's
look after
still
child.
capable.
We'll look after the kid when she's at Yale
Yeah.
or Princeton or Cambridge.
But the
or-
only reason you'd like her to go Harvard, because if she's going to get pregnant, then it'll be by someone at Harvard. There you go.
Brilliant.
To be fair, until you mentioned it, but now it is my biggest fear.
Yeah. Those boys are cute, my daughter. Go to Harvard, go there.
But are you more
I'm taking her out of that
scared?
mixed sex nursery.
But are you more scared of your son impregnating a girl
don't
that you
think
don't
about
know?
it. They're 4 and
But
2.
I know, but if you had to
It's
think
not
about
either
it,
or.
would you be more scared about your daughter? Or would you be more scared about your son?
It depends. If my son...
To be fair, actually,
Yeah.
I brought my kids up to be. Hopefully, I'm going to bring my kids up to be. If they get into a situation where they are a parent, they have to be a parent regardless. So if my son gets a girl pregnant, he has to be a father and take those responsibilities on 100%. In the same way that a mother will have to do the same. So I mean, to be honest. It's not
just
really
don't think
something.
you- Yeah, you just don't wanna think about
But then
it.
saying that, I'm a different generation to your
Yeah,
parents, for
true.
instance. So although my mum did once embarrass me by shouting upstairs when the postman knocked at the door, and I was upstairs with a girlfriend at the time, and we had the
girlfriends home.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's really
Right,
different.
and
treating.
the door was open, and my mum shouted while the postman was at the door, "I hope you're not doing bedroom gymnastics up there."
Oh my gosh! Oh.
You had great parents, man. I wasn't allowed girls home at
No
all.
way! And
Yeah,
if
but you
it
see-
was, you'd sneak them in, and then you'd get caught and beaten.
You sneak,
No, I didn't. I didn't. But a member of my family did. A member of my family did, but I can't mention names.
Okay, a friend of mine.
A brother of yours. Hold on, a brother of yours sneaked boys home. Is that right?
No! Can we just change the subject from my family? They're all listening. happening.
It all goes in your
She's
family.
clearly a very, very good girl, family girl.
Yes, I am.
But isn't it an admission, though,
Say?
that isn't it an admission by parents to implicitly say that boys are more vulnerable than girls?
Yes,
and that
maybe
they
so.
need to be pampered and looked after.
I think it's awful. I think
as opposed to girls who are
What about
more
your
sensible.
experience, Nabila, growing up? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in France.
In France?
Yes.
And is it the same? Was it the same for you that boys and girls are regarded differently? That boys are given more...
No, I was
boys?
born in an Arab family
Right.
in France, and my parents always made sure that, they bring up their boys and girls in the same manner. So we were taught to do the same thing. The boys, always
You
did the
never felt
cleaning,
like-
for example, they
Really?
were not. Yeah.
Which is incredibly...
yeah.
But what about going out and
And
stuff?
not common. I don't
Were you
think.
allowed to go out, and were your brothers allowed to go out?
I think my parents always made sure that even when boys went out, that they had money on them because they didn't want them to be in trouble. They had to call to say when they're coming back and all that. As soon as we were safe, that was their main concern.
Okay. And so you were allowed to go out as well then, as much as your brothers were?
Yeah, but there was, of course,
Time.
a time restriction on both boys and girls.
At the same time?
At the same time.
Oh, okay.
But we can also have
That's
common.
different.
Equal curfew.
That's brilliant.
Has your brother ever switched a vacuum cleaner on in his life?
Oh my God, once, and I took a picture. It was brilliant. But we were on holiday, so I think he was in a holiday spirit.
Hold on, he vacuumed on
I've got a
holiday.
picture and it's on
You probably thought it
Facebook.
was some kind of, I don't know,
Yeah.
find out
Some
tennis
sexual
balls or
toy.
something. Yeah.
Oh, right.
It's a family show,
God.
It's a family show. Good grief. At that point, no relation. Let's cross to Birmingham and speak to Noreen Khan.
They do that in Birmingham?
To find out what's coming up on the drive show. Noreen, no touching, no touching, no kissing, no kissing.
I heard you spill my secrets.
That'd have been amazing. Actually, it wasn't you. It was your mum standing next to
Yeah, that's more like it, actually.
Only
That
seeing.
song
Only
has
seeing.
that has got to be, honestly, Himesh showed me his finest piece of work today, I reckon.
I'll tell you what.
Really
if-
has got to be.
I tell you what, if that film gets anywhere near the Oscars, that song, that's going to be right there. That is, it's brilliant. All I could
won't
think
be
of
playing
was
that
you.
song after 3. We've got loads of other good tracks to play though. Suki will be here with the big Hot 5. Lots of big showbiz and entertainment
Blue.
stories.
Blue.
Ivy Carter.
Why would you call your daughter Blue?
Well, I thought it was Ivy Blue.
I didn't know that.
And
It is
then
Ivy
they
Blue.
It is
changed to
Ivy.
Blue Ivy
Oh, is
Carter.
it?
So
Blue Ivy Carter.
I don't know, some news
Yeah.
streams are saying Ivy and some are saying Blue.
Do you know
She's going to get poison ivy, isn't
and
she?
she went
Do you know
on
what I
her
mean?
account, which is great.
How many decades have we spent trying not to be called coloured? And then they call their daughter Blue.
That's so surely there's
Oh,
a
it's so good. It's so good.
It's just that
I
right.
have a feeling that's not her actual name. I honestly think her name will change a few times. I don't think. I reckon they've
We're
just
back
leaked
to-
her name, which is not her real name.
Really?
We're back to my real name, Nihal.
Yeah, no, we're
Yeah,
not going
we're
back
not
to your
going
real name. Noreen, save me from Kosh. What else is coming up on the show,
We're
Dom?
also going to be doing What's Wax Doing and playing requests after 5 o'clock. So if you want to hear anything, just email me, noreen@bbc.co.uk.
Okay, brilliant. Have a
Thanks very
fantastic
much.
show. No touching, no touching.
No touching.
No
Bye.
kissing. Only seeing Noreen Khan.
All right.
Okay. You got to sample that for the beginning of the show. Listen.
Oh, no, don't put that song in my head, please.
No, listen, I'm gonna try and find out who sings that bit, and then you're opening your show at 3:10 or whenever every week. It can
gonna
just
be the
go
jingle.
only listening,
so
not
not-
touching, not kissing,
Yeah.
only listening, not in can. Have a great show.
Bye.
See you. Bye bye. 47 minutes past 2. Vent, let off steam. 81869 is the text number. You can email Nihal at bbc.co.uk. In the meantime, let's have a bit of music, shall we?
खांदी खुशहाली की पजामों की नाज़ेगी दखपलू ख्वरायानु सरा हर्ज़े तारसीगी खांदी खुशहाली की पजामों की नाज़ेगी दखपलू ख्वरायानु सरा हर्ज़े तारसीगी मामा ते मामा ते मामा ते मामा मामा नजर पर हर सड़ी साथी बेदार अभी हर वक्ते वरी वसर वलाड़वी लक खास्ता द चिनार लखते कजदी वरसर उकड़ो न ब्याबत त्रणा तखते अल्लाह दीवार त खैर उकड़ी दाजल नंबर द चादे मामा रे औखना मामा स्टाइल अंदाज की मजम मजरावानवी सलोर वाणाची यौजेशी ब्या गोरा शाजाद गानवी ब्या दासी मालूमी की ची हम दुई जमंग पिरानवी को ख्याल कवा पटूलू के अंदाज दादा जुदा दे मामा खबर औरत हम दे दकार सड़े दे उम्र की बजियात भी खुब पजड़ बांधी जल में दे जुगुती वर्ता नकड़ी ब्या लंबा अखलीत के दे जमंग द टूल यार दे हाउ दहर सड़ी अशना दे मामा
M in Brent has texted in, fuming. That's what she said, exclamation mark. One of 5 siblings. Now check this out. This is almost one of the best letting off themes I've come across, because this is making me let off steam. And Em, I'm not even you. I'm freaking out for you, right? Okay, check this out. And I'm sure if you're in a situation where you look after, you're the prime carer for one of your parents, and you have loads of brothers and sisters who do absolutely sweet all, then you will identify with this. I'm one of 5 siblings. I look after my mum and was meant to be going on my honeymoon. Not break, not, just fancy going to Butlins for the weekend. Honeymoon, right? Oh no, I fancy a bit of shopping, buy some shoes. No, honeymoon. I told my siblings, she's one of 5, because no one had offered to look after my mum while I go away. And I informed them that I might cancel my holiday, right? Clearly this was a psychological move to kind of prompt them into going, oh, no. Not from her brothers and sisters. The only response Em got was, oh, really? Maybe you could cut it down and go away for a few days instead.
Or take her with you. To your honeymoon.
Take her with you. That would be brilliant.
How sweet will that be? Not much honey there.
Oh, my gosh. Gosh.
That's outrageous, isn't it?
I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
What do you say to... Okay.
Disown the family, move.
What do you say?
Well, they can take
Then what are
turns,
you going
can't
to do
they?
with mum is the question. What's going to happen to
I
mum?
reckon mum is at the root of this. I reckon mum does want to go away on that. She's told the other siblings,
Yeah,
don't do it, I'm not coming to you.
Yep. That
What, I
makes
fancy
sense.
10 days in the Maldives.
In Bora Bora, lovely.
I've never been there before. No, but I mean, all seriously, this is... and this is common, I have to say. I mean, having done this show for a few years now, I hear so many stories anecdotally from relatives who just say, look, I'm the one who looks after my mum all the time, and my brothers and sisters. How do you broach this subject with them? I mean, Nabila, how do you say to your siblings, you're not pulling your weight? or you need to do more? Do you literally put them in a situation where you say, look, I'm leaving, Mum, I'm going?
Well, it's hard. I mean, it doesn't apply to my family because we talk to each other and we take turns if we indeed need to.
I like your family.
Your family is great.
Can
we come and live with your family, Nabila?
I want to be adopted.
We love your French Arab family.
No, it is nice. We have good relationships, and so we communicate. And if the parents needed some help, we talk to each other and work around everybody's schedule.
Okay, so how were you? Because this is to do with upbringing. There's something gone wrong here. I've not wish to insult M's mum or dad, but there's clearly something in upbringing that's gone wrong, isn't it? To make the other four so selfish that they won't even allow their sister to go on a honeymoon. How were you brought up then differently? What values were instilled in you?
I think it was the importance of the family unit.
Right.
Because my parents left their home country of Algeria. They didn't have any family in France, so they started their own family, and they had just us. And so we were brought up to look after each other.
Very close then, yeah.
But then Asians always go on, don't they? Say all about how close we all are, and we're all in each other's pockets, we all know each other's business, and we're all there.
That's because they're nosy. That's why they know each other's business.
Yeah, that's not to do with love, is it? No, that's just to do with nosiness.
Also,
go on, Kosh.
Basically, my parents always said, back home, family meant family. The reason why family meant family back home in that little village in Cyprus is because the milkman was your uncle, the butcher was your auntie, right? You needed them, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you move to the capital of the world, London, you don't need the milkman to be your uncle and all this. I don't need to see my uncle every day of the week coming round, do you know what I mean? Eating my food, drinking my booze. I don't need it. I have my own life in this big city.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I think they were spoilt when they were brought up, because this exact situation happened to in our family, but not in the generation above. So my grandparents. So my granddad's sons and daughters, we used to look after my grandparents. They lived with us. So when we were going on holiday, the exact same situation happened. And then they said,
no one stepped up?
Nobody stepped up. And they've got 9. There's 9 of them. What? 9. I mean, come on. I know. So it was really sad. So I think it's because they were spoiled, because my granddad and grandma literally, how we were saying before, just let them go out there and do what they wanted. They didn't care what they did. They allowed them to have their own lives.
So no responsibilities.
And no respect for them whatsoever to be able to do that. So what they did was, we said we have to go. So we ended up dropping them off to Birmingham. The day we got back, we literally just got through the door, a taxi pulls up from Birmingham with just my grandma in there. How ridiculous.
The day you got back, they timed it for
the day we got back. So I was going to say, why don't you just send your mum in a taxi over to your brother's house?
Can I just say, this is only Fools and Horses. Do you remember when Granddad died, Uncle Albert, they just he was dumped.
That's so mean.
On
really mean, but that's what happens.
See?
Some families are like that. It was really sad, and I just opened the taxi and it was like, by the way, here's your grandma, and that's 180 quid, and I'm like,
they didn't even pay for the taxi.
No.
But is it that some people don't have a choice? Some people I can't bear this anymore. No one's owning up to doing it.
She's not that bad.
She's enough to make you want to join the BNP and get ourselves thrown out.
That's the height of rudeness.
It is. It was horrible. But that's why we've been brought up a lot differently, and we're going to put up a fight, and who's going to keep mum and who's going to keep dad.
Yeah, well, we're the same.
But that's to do with responsibility, whether it's towards your family, but also towards society.
Yeah.
It's not just take.
Yeah.
You have to give back, and that applies to your own family first start, but then to society in general.
Of course.
That's what I mean. You're spoiled.
When do you stop forgetting what your parents did for you?
Exactly. You can't. You can't, because
it
you
does
would
depend
not
on
be
your relationship with your parents.
It does.
Though.
That's true. Because not all parents are good parents.
No.
To be fair.
But they do put a roof over your head. Come on, surely that's
but
enough.
what do they do under that roof?
Don't worry about that. You've still got a roof and you've still got food in your stomach. That's at least something.
I think it's wrong to put parents on a pedestal.
Yeah, me too.
They're flawed individuals.
Yes, I believe
they can
slightly
only do
that
their
this
best.
world is psychologically upside down because of honour thy father. I mean, it's honour thy child. Every child that every parent should empathise with the fact that their unborn child did not ask to be born. This isn't a gift.
There
Do you know what I mean?
this argument, which is, isn't it? It's that I don't owe you anything. I didn't ask to come here.
That's really hard.
Once you brought me into the world, it is your duty to do everything. That's a minimum requirement to feed me, to house me. If you're choosing to have a child, that's what you should do. I'm not going to thank you for the fact
I don't agree. And that's purely because my mum and dad are listening. But
because of our traditions.
No, but I don't agree. I think to a certain age, yes. But if they go beyond the point of, I don't know, when you're old enough to get a job and be able to look after yourself, and they still look after you, then you've got...
If you bring a child up,
that's a choice.
If you cultivate a child in the ethos of be grateful, they're going to end up being demanding themselves, and that's when they're going to fall out.
But that's not about being grateful. I think the bottom line is you always should show respect.
But where does
the
respect
kind of
lie?
relationship you have with your parents.
But where does that respect lie? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it just that they're your parents, or your family sounds lovely and deserved of respect because of the way they are, not because of who they are to you.
If they want to go, if you want to go on holiday and you need somebody to look after them, just send them over. It's fine.
I'll be a French Arab for the day, rather than a North London Turkey Cypriot. I'll do that.
C'est formidable.
Yeah,
Voilà. I can say that's about all the French I can say. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been absolutely fantastic speaking to you today. M in Brent, get the cab ready, get it booked, go on your honeymoon, send them round to one
send
of
her
the
to the BBC
siblings.
Asian Network.
Exactly. And send them round to my house, and make sure your siblings do their part.
The sound of Asian Britain on digital TV and online.
This is BBC Asian Network.
Nabila, Simran and Kosh, thank you so much for joining us after that.